Good morning, gang. Happy Monday morning. It's Christmas week, so I'm betting a lot of people probably have the week off. So hopefully you're still in bed while I'm doing this. Has anybody been to the store lately and couldn't find what they were looking for? That we have supply chain problems again. Quietly and on specific items, that's for sure. But we're starting to hear a little bit more and more and more. Okay. I was telling you guys yesterday about maybe it was Saturday, about the Panama Canal and about the Suez Canal and about stuff not coming over. Yeah. We've talked in the past about how fragile the grid is, about the fact that there's a 4-year backlog on getting transformers from China if the power goes out, everything. But let's talk about the small scenario. Your house, okay? Or a business, I don't know, your office, McDonald's, whatever. Okay. Anybody familiar with who Schneider Electric is? Schneider Electric is one of the companies, the two big ones are Schneider and Square D, who make a lot of the products that power your house, your fuse box, your circuit breakers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Obviously, those need to be in every house and they need to work. You build a new house, you build a new apartment complex, you build a new business, whatever. It's got a circuit breaker. Okay? It's got many circuit breakers. Well, Schneider Electric has come out and said that we have a supply chain issue. And now a lot, not just circuit breakers and panels and everything, a lot of our products are now delayed 20 weeks. It's 5 months, guys. Okay. So imagine one of your circuit breakers goes out and you go to the hardware store. There ain't any. So you look online. There ain't any. Okay. Say you run a business. Breaker goes out to the lights, over in an office or the phone system. There isn't a fix. You have to replace that breaker. Now, you could take a breaker out of another circuit and replace it, sure. Okay. But something's going to be without power for 5 months. This is something that we need to pay attention to. A prep that maybe we don't think about keeping on hand is a couple of extra circuit breakers. I've been in this house for just about 5 years now. And the house was built in 2011. And we had to replace a circuit breaker about 2 years ago. Okay, no big deal. Went to the hardware store and got one. Now, that might not be possible. Might be worth having to figure out what brand of circuit breaker you have and get yourself an extra, whatever you're running, 20 amp, 30 amp breaker, and just have an extra one. Just in case. Cost you about $20. Okay. But at least you've got one. Because if the power goes out all across the country, who cares? But if the power goes out in your house, that's on you to fix. Okay. So, first thought. Second thought, food. Okay. Food getting a little harder to find. Not terribly. The stores are still in pretty good shape. Okay. We all know food has gotten ridiculously expensive. Okay. I told you the other day about me and Mrs. P going to the store and $137 worth of groceries, no meat, and it filled 4 little plastic bags. And no, it was typical stuff that you were buying, vegetables, cheese, milk, that sort of stuff. Okay. Yeah, 4 bags. $137 used to get me, even 2 years ago, got me half a cart of groceries. 4 years ago, 2/3 of a cart of groceries. Well, I remember the days where $100 worth of groceries would last me a couple of weeks. Not anymore. Okay. That was fill-in trip. Mrs. P and I fall right in the mix of about $700 a month to feed the two of us. Okay. Yeah, it's insane. And the dogs. So we look at what's going on. We have food banks. We all know how much we contributed to the food banks, how beneficial that was, how many food banks are out there. I saw something this morning. There are now firewood banks, believe it or not, out there, about 20 of them across the country, that people are putting together so people can heat their homes because they can't afford the fuel oil or the electricity or the propane or whatever they heat with. There's literally firewood banks going up. Okay, just give you that as an idea. We know how much we have in the way of homeless. I talked about that yesterday. Record amount of homeless in the United States. Thanks, Joe. We know our vets are getting screwed left and right, including me. Let's just talk about the medical care because, hey, we're going to take doctors out of the VA clinics and we're going to send them to work on all the illegals instead. So, Joe is putting the illegals ahead of the vets. There's a real America Last policy. But that's been the whole deal. I came across a story this morning that about made me sick. Now, y'all know with these illegals that we're handing them Visa cards, we're handing them free hotels, free food, everything. I mean, they're staying in the Roosevelt Hotel in New York. They're getting fed 3 meals a day, okay? And they're being given $5,000 a person in cash or Visa card, debit card to spend on whatever they need. Now, start thinking about it. If your housing was paid for and if your food was paid for, you didn't have an electric bill, you didn't have a phone bill, because remember, they're being given phones too, okay? And you've got $5,000 a month. Okay, that's what, $450 or $5,000 a year, $450 a month, thereabouts. Spending money ain't great, but it's more than a lot of people in this country have, right? So, what is the great thanks that we get for doing all of this? Well, this is what I found this morning. Daily, 5,000 meals that are being given to the illegals for free are being thrown away. All that food that you and I are struggling to pay for, that some people can't pay for, that some people are living on, college fare, ramen, okay, because that's what you can afford. And these people are being given pancakes for breakfast, sandwiches for lunch, and hot meals like spaghetti or chicken Alfredo for dinner. And they're throwing it away. Not because the food is bad. They don't like the taste. Well, you know what? Go back to Mexico, go back to Belize, go back to China, go back to India, and cook your own damn food, okay? 5,000 meals a day. Just in New York, this was one that killed me. Just in New York, between October 22nd and November 22nd, 70,000 meals were thrown away. Just in New York. The people were complaining, oh, the food was too cold. Well, you know what? That's called preservation. They send it to you frozen, let it thaw out, put it in the microwave that's in your hotel room, warm it up somewhere. Yeah. You know why it's frozen? So it doesn't come to you soggy and moldy. You're getting fresh food, which is more than I can say about the 653,000 homeless people in the United States who are eating out of dumpsters. about all the stories that you've seen about middle-class Americans who are sitting behind grocery stores waiting for the grocery store to throw out something that's past its best by date so they can go dumpster diving so they can eat. The government isn't giving them the money, let alone delivering it to them. You don't have to cook. You don't have to do anything. Just every 4 hours, somebody knocks on your door and says, here you go, Juan. Here you go, Maria. Here's breakfast. 4 hours later, here you go, Juan. Here you go, Maria. Here's your lunch. Really? Okay. It ain't DoorDash. It's freaking free. And what do they do with it? They throw it out. Oh, and then you want the topper to it? After this $5,000 that they're being given, then they're going out and buying their own food and complaining that food's too expensive. Get this. We're going to America. We have no skills. We have no money. We can't even speak the language. And hi, we're going to come here. We expect you to wait on us like kings and queens. No. You came up here because you wanted to live the American dream, not to be given anything, okay? George Carlin, the American dream, you got to be asleep to believe it, okay? You came up here to make your life better, to work, with all those great skills you have of picking strawberries or picking lettuce, great. Don't need 5 million people to pick lettuce. Just saying that right now. Okay? And you went to New York. Oh, but they put us there on purpose. You got 2 feet. You walked how many thousand miles from South America through Mexico. You don't like New York. You want to walk a couple of thousand miles. You'll be in Denver. You can be anywhere the hell you want. Don't bitch. But while we all struggle, this is where our tax dollars are going. And this is the gratitude that you get for eating ramen or eating bologna because you can't afford the spaghetti noodles or you can't afford the ham for your sandwich. You're eating the lower priced food, the lower quality food, so they can take the better stuff that you can't eat and throw it away. They wonder why the American population is pissed about the illegal invasion. It's not because they're taking jobs from us. They don't have any skills. They're not taking any of the good jobs. They're not taking the jobs that most people want anyway. So that ain't it. No, what we're pissed about is not only their presence making everything more expensive and more scarce, i.e. apartments or anything like that, but then what we are giving them is being pissed away. This is what we have to face, guys. We are being replaced. Anybody that'll tell you that the great replacement theory is a conspiracy theory is wrong, okay? I'm going to give you this. The birth rate in the United States is at an all-time low. Women in the United States are having now an average of 1.4 children in their lives. In the 1950s, it was 2.5. Okay. So we are having half the children. Gee, if we're having half the children, how is it that the U.S. population keeps going up? Right? People are still dying at the same rate. That doesn't change. No, we're being replaced. There aren't as many kids being born in the country. Therefore, there aren't as many people growing up. So, well, let's bring in a bunch of immigrants. And the comparison between the number of legal immigrants each year and illegal immigrants each year is night and day. Guys, we really need to get on the ball here. There isn't going to be the stuff for us to continue to thrive, to live, not just survive, to live, because it's being taken, it's being kept in China, it's being given away to anybody. We are in an America last society, or Americans last society. This has got to change. This has got to stop. And we need to make it well known that we do not accept. I mean, Again, I wish I had an answer. I mean, and we've heard it all. Oh, it's got to be pitchforks and torches. No, that's not a good idea. Look at the January 6th people. Okay. Oh, we've got to stop paying taxes. No, that's not a good idea. Go ask Wesley Snipes. Okay. I'll agree with everybody on the voting. It doesn't matter who votes. It matters who counts the votes. Okay. There's got to be a solution. And my fear is the solution is going to be slung over your arm. The same thing that everybody wants to ban. And why do they want to ban it? Because they know that's the solution too. And they want to take that away from you as well, so you can't fight back. Pinball out.